what I'd start by saying about 5G is that it's both a revolution and an evolution. So it's a revolution in terms of providing up to 100 times higher data rates, in providing virtually instantaneous communication, in its ability and capacity to support the Internet of Things. It's also revolutionary in terms of the ability to support private networks and industrial applications, and its potential as an economic enabler. And we can think today, and we can imagine many possibilities in terms of making use of higher data rates, for example, for mobile healthcare, transmitting information from an ambulance to a hospital. We can think about it in terms of, as was mentioned, the smart cities to enable traffic monitoring and so forth. But it's also probable that we will see things with 5G that we can't foresee today. The whole app economy came out of the ability to have connectivity on a 4G smartphone, but that wasn't foreseen when 4G was deployed. And so we probably will see some significant and new innovation that we cannot yet predict. Where there is an evolution is in terms of the technology itself. So it builds extensively on 4G. It uses many similar frequencies to the existing mobile technologies. The fundamental modulation, or the way that the data is encoded, is very similar to what's on 4G. And it's using frequencies and powers that are covered by international standards that have been extensively studied over many, many years. If you look at the EMF portal, which is a German research database, there's about 3,000 studies on mobile communication frequencies specifically conducted in roughly the last 20 years. We've got more studies as well at the millimeter wave frequencies. The other areas where it's evolution is we already have small cells in existing 3G and 4G networks. They will become more sophisticated in 5G, and particularly at the higher frequencies. We already make use of things like sharing of frequencies, smart antennas. There are already MIMO antennas in 4G networks. Again, they become more sophisticated in the new networks, and we have small cells in the existing networks, and they're likely to be more significant in the networks going forward. We'll talk about this maybe some more in some of the later sessions, but the other area where there's similarity is that the exposure levels in public areas from 5G are expected to be very similar to what we get from 3G and 4G networks today. And that typically puts them around 1,000 times or more below the safety limits. Those safety limits in turn are designed to protect all persons for continuous exposure. And as the last speaker said, the position of the World Health Organization and many other health bodies is comply with those limits, then no health risks are expected. And one of the things we've seen, this misinformation about links to COVID-19 that has been clearly rebutted. But I've also seen a headline suggesting that COVID-19 may actually cause 5G, because we will become much more realized about the need for connectivity, the opportunity of higher speeds to provide new services in new places. And so it's exciting about what the future might bring. And I'll pause at that.